We'd like to bring in the mayor of Orlando, Buddy Dyer. Mayor Dyer, how is Orlando prepping for this storm?
Matt and Nick, thank you for inviting me on. We've had a lot of time now as we've watched Irma progress. So citizens here have been really good about being responsive and working their emergency preparedness plans. And we have watched the path change on several occasions. We thought at one point it was going to be east of us, then we thought it was going to be directly on top of us. Now it looks like it's going to be west of us. And the other odd thing about it is the mass evacuation for one of the cities that people come to. So when it looked like the storm was going to have a direct hit on Miami Beach in South Florida, we had a lot of people coming from South Florida. Then we had people coming from the East Coast. Now we have people coming from the West Coast. So that's been just a little challenging, let's just say, with all the traffic.
That's the point I was going to bring up with you, Mayor. Is I know a lot of people that are along the Florida's west coast, even from Tampa down to Sarasota. You mentioned West Palm Beach down to Miami. A lot of evacuees from those areas going right into Central Florida. Orlando being one of the bigger cities that evacuees are fleeing to. How are we doing down there in terms of resources? Has the city prepared for the evacuees to be in this area?
We have a lot of shelters. Obviously, we have more hotel rooms than any city in America, about 120,000. But I think most of the hotels are pretty solidly booked at this point. I think a lot of the people from South Florida are actually on the road headed back the other way at this point. So we've been able to accommodate most of the people that have decided to come to Orlando. Now, a lot of people continue to go on north I think a lot of people went up to Atlanta and even further north than that.
Okay, Mayor Dyer, quick question here for you. You just mentioned we really, over the past number of days, that storm track has been shifting a little bit further west. It's been changing conditions, or at least potential conditions, across Florida. Knowing that, a lot of agencies have been using Orlando as really a staging site. FEMA, Red Cross, Salvation Army, thousands of volunteers all gathered there in Orlando. Are more folks coming to Orlando in preparation for the storm, especially once the storm passes?
There are, and since we were centralized, I know Red Cross has their statewide headquarters set up here. We have a lot of the power companies that are coming down to assist that have staged here in Orlando. We're just an easy place to deploy from wherever the storm ends up hitting, whether it's in the Tampa-Fort Myers region or whether it had been in South Florida. We're just a pretty good staging point for anywhere in the state.
All right, that's Mayor Buddy Dyer. Mayor, we thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mayor, and good luck through the storm. We'll continue to follow conditions there in Orlando. They're already picking up wind. They're picking up rain.